Diogo says Laker Warriors is a must watch. Yes, I think that'll be must watch for me as well. That'll be the last time I probably get to see the Lakers at 500 for the season.
Sixers Celtics.
The new
That's
Celtics
the
uniforms that
7:30 game.
came out are hard.
I haven't seen them.
They've got actually like a new style like of uniforms. Like them shits are tough. Like it was like about time. Like they actually did some shit. It's not just like a color swap and like a name swap.
I like their. I know that you're not. I like the two old jerseys they had, like the one with like the different font for is green and white, but has different font on it. I like that one. I also like their green and black ones as well.
Yeah, the green black ones are hard.
Yeah. I haven't seen the new ones, but
yeah, it's like Celtics and like cursive, or it looks like I think it's cursive, and they're
okay.
like it's like black, green, and then like on the sides it has like 11 championship rings is for Bill Russell or whatever, like on both sides or whatever.
That's cool.
Shits are hard. Like I ain't really trying to promote Celticism or anything, but
Celticism,
but yeah. So yeah, man. I don't know what the Lakers about to do. We about to get our ass whooped.
What do you think of the Westbrook stuff that was going on last week?
It's just step one in him being watched like a hawk this year, and also step one of like eventually him not or them sending him home. They're doing the thing where he's gonna come off the bench and they're marketing it as him quarterbacking the second unit. Is like, no nigga, you are the second unit now, nigga. Like I don't like I don't know what like Russ is gonna be Russ. They're gonna be them. Like there's obviously like him and Patrick Beverly can say they're friends all they want. I don't believe it for a second. And I just think it's a waiting game until they quote unquote designate him for assignment and say we'd like you to step away from the team. It feels like a classic Stephon Marbury situation.
I mean, I didn't think about that as far as like this is the beginning of the path towards that, but I thought that like going into the season and like they were going to eventually have to send him home because like they're better when he's on the floor. Just period. So, which is weird to say about a dude that's a future first ballot Hall of Famer and all that kind of stuff. And dude is not. Was he 33?
Yeah, something like that.
But like that's just a fact of his game. Like the dude has no compromise in his game, and like that's what made him great at the beginning of his career. But like once the injuries add up and the age adds up, and like the jumper never gets better. Like, and he's only 6'3". Like this is destiny. Like remember how fast it was for Iverson to come out. Like he was an all-star. Like, and then 2 years later, like he's out the league. So like. It was always going to end badly for Westbrook, but it's weird that he's going to be sent home. And then, like, we just saw this shit happen with John Wall last year, with the Rockets, where it's like, really?
Sharks, God damn it. But yeah, this always stinks. Like and he kind of feels like a scapegoat. Like he's
absolutely a scapegoat, but
he's an easy target. Like,
yeah, but he's always been an easy target, and the thing is, like, how do I say it? He's so stubborn. He's always been so stubborn. Like, he's always been a scapegoat, even when or a shield for Durant, even back in the day or whatever else. Even when he was kicking, fumbling playoff games, whatever else. But like, he's always been that, and then he's never figured out a way to. I don't think it's because he cares or just because he's stubborn. It's mostly because probably both. But he's never figured out a way to modulate his game. And like, bro, that's just great while you're up. But like, this is how you end up out the league. And like, this is why I said like it's always going to end up bad for him. But like, if he wants to stick in the NBA,
I think he can do it. It's just he has to.
Rich, that's the thing. What year is this now?
This is his 14th year in the league.
He came in. He was in the '08 draft, right?
Yeah.
All right, 9,
Yeah,
10,
he
11,
played. He
12,
played
13, 14,
2
15,
years in
16, 17,
college.
18, 19. Well, yeah, he was in the '08 draft, though.
Yep.
All right. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. This is year 15 for him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it's been 15 years. He's never compromised his game. He's like people were thought that he was going to come in and set screens last year and try to be a cutter off the ball and play better defense, and like it didn't happen last year, and like he didn't show any kind of concern as if any of this stuff was his fault. Like he plays delusional guy. Like he's still like high confidence, like I'm still me, and like yeah, you're still you, but you ain't like good. You don't contribute to winning in that way anymore, man. So like
He was like the only one that was like the healthy one all year, last year, and they were largely getting the shit beat out of them when like either whether they were all three together or not. So
yeah, their record all three of them on the floor wasn't that good anyway. Like except for that one stretch when Anthony Davis came back before immediately coming out like 2 weeks later. Like that was like the only stretch of good basketball they had played, I think, the Lakers. So I just think that
about to get our ass stomped. Remember that Young Buck song? About to get that ass stomped. Like that's
I just
yes, he played the two in college, but that was a long ass time ago. And like the two in college, and the two in the modern NBA, I don't think there could be like two more different positions because you have to shoot. And now in the NBA, in college, you don't necessarily have to shoot if you don't want. It's just like I feel like college is like it's like how basketball was in the 1960s. Like it's just people throwing up bullshit.
And also, like, he was a two because, like, they had, was it Darren Collison that time?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, that was a loaded team. Or not loaded, but, like, it was one of the, like, all right, they got Kevin Love, Darren Collison, Westbrook. I think there was another NBA player on that team, too.
Mute, I believe.
Yep, Luke Richard and Mute. Yep, he was also on the team. Like, that team was really fucking good. I mean, they made the Final Four and a loaded Final Four. Like, when's the last time the Final Four was that loaded with that four good teams that with all NBA talent, all that kind of stuff? Like, because that was that Kansas team that had Darrell Arthur and Mario Chalmers, everything. You had the Carolina team that had Danny Green and Hansbrough and Ty Lawson and Wayne Ellington, and then what was the other team? Wasn't that fucking Memphis? Yeah, with Derrick Rose on it.
Yep.
And then like was it Chris Douglas Roberts and what's the big dude's
Rodney something, or there was a 6'7" guy that was a dunker, I remember, and then it was like Joey
Dorsey's I'm thinking of the center. Yeah, like that was like the last. I mean, obviously, I'm sure there's more other teams though. That was a really loaded Final Four, as far as like all American type talent and then also like NBA talent for college basketball at that point. Or like in that era. So yeah, like he put him there out of necessity. Like when they put the ball in his hand, it was in the NBA, it was like, well, he's not effective having him run off pin downs or curls or anything, because like he's not a threat in that way other than to get him into motion. Like he's put the ball in his hands. And that's the thing, like you have a guard that can't shoot, put the ball in his hands. That's how you'll be able to create.
Except when you put the ball in this guy's hands, he might put it in the other team's hands.
Yeah, but you live with that kind of stuff when you're that good. Like now the margins are not as, the margins are a lot thinner now. Now the turnovers actually do matter now because he's not going to go out there and give you, some 30-point triple-double.
Right.
Now like he's liable to give you like a 21-point triple-double. It's crazy, bro. Like this dude, like when we were kids, like the idea of somebody like after you triple double for a year was like this dude like when you think of like
Insane.
Oscar Robertson, like how in the fuck wasn't Oscar Robertson the best player in the NBA? And then like people would tell you, but it still didn't make any sense. And then like you see it in real life, and it's like, oh, okay. And I remember like Bill Simmons like said that like some other guard could have done that, what Oscar Robertson did, but to take the right ball hog in the right situation, blah 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 blah, and the right opportunity to like just to do it right because of the possessions being so different, right? There's so many more possessions in the 16 were in the NBA game than compared to now or then anyway. And like Westbrook comes along and he does it, and it's like, all right, this dude they gave this dude the MVP. He wasn't the most valuable player of the season, but they gave it to him because they felt bad for him. And then next year, he does it again. And people are like, who gives a fuck? Who gives a shit?
Like, and the sad shit is like they have a fucking winning record when he does all this shit, and it's like we don't care. Fuck you. Your numbers don't mean the same thing. Like, whatever, you know.
But the thing is, you watch a game, is like, okay. You watch these games with him, is like, all right. When people talk about like the most important moments of all these games and everything, and like you watch him at the end of the games, and like he's always making these terrible decisions. That was like his whole career. It was like he plays so hard. He has this weird thing where like he never ever displays like during the moment during like the action on the floor that he actually is tired. But like you'll see him at times, like during down times, or like when he's on the bench, you see him gassed or exhausted at times. But in the middle of play, he looks perfectly fine, and then he'll boot the ball off his foot, or he'll do some fucking absurd and ridiculous bad mistake. And you're like, oh, this is what it is. He's super tired in these games. He plays so goddamn hard, and then like what manifests is he's so tired that he makes bad decisions in the games. Okay, so like he's great for like the first 42 minutes of a game and bad for the last 6.
Adam,
he's so good that it overcomes a lot of that stuff, but now it's like it doesn't matter anymore. Now it's just like he's not as good as he was back then for the first 42, and now he also makes the same mistakes in the last 6. So it's like it's kind of killer. And like if you could figure out how to make him into like a Jordan Clarkson type, you could be advantageous. But like he doesn't want to make any of those kind of changes to his game. He doesn't want to play defense. He just wants to still do what he was doing a decade ago, and it's like you're not that kind of guy anymore. But he looks in the mirror and still sees he's him.
Because I mean, obviously, it's not like he's out of shape or anything. Like,
right,
he's physically almost like the same guy as he was, and then I just don't. Maybe he just lost this much. Like,
that's all it takes.
Yeah, the margins are slim. And Adam sent me a very heartbreaking visual. I just actually sent it to your inbox. Because apparently another Russ is also washed at the moment, but I don't engage in the NFL. But
oh man,
I have heard
it's bad. He's done. Russell Wilson, like he's done. He had a Thursday night football game the other day, where he got the Broncos to like on the goal line. And all he has to do is make a simple read, throw it to the slant, and do like most likely walks to the end zone. He holds the ball too late, misses it. Actually, he didn't even look that side. He's looking on the other side of the field.
This is sick.
And it was like, oh, this is bad. And then like people were looking at him. What are you saying? I
said, this is sick. Damn you, Adam.
Yeah, and then people were like, showing stills of like a guy that was on the bench looking at him while he was drinking taking a swig of from a Gatorade bottle. Like, this look of disgust and contempt. And I was like, this is bad. And then also because like new media now, Richard Sherman is part of new media. So he had Marshawn on a field
day. I saw some clip on TikTok of him talking.
Yeah, like so he's been on Russell's ass all. It's like like it's so funny.
We want the credit for this. He got all the credit,
Yes, and it's all of that, and it's all of them still being, and it's all of them still crying about that fucking. Oh my God,
are they the 08 Celtics of football?
Rich, I don't think I've ever heard anything that made me more happy than you just saying that. Because I never liked them niggas. Look, man,
Bro, the
it's
08 Celtics will
amazing.
never shut the fuck up. Like, love Kobe Bryant to death. The one thing in his legacy, he lost to them fuck niggas that one time. Damn.
Look,
Could he have
man.
just spared us? Could he just beat them
Look,
niggas
man.
so we ever had to hear them?
Look. I don't understand why they like. If I remember, I had to pull up the. Hold on. Let's see.
Post-show be lit out here.
Broncos, Patriots, Super Bowl, play-by-play.
Look, and they lost that second time they was there at the, in a close game. Yeah, that's them.
All right, so ESPN game summary, NFL ID, play-by-play. Give me the drive summary. No play-by-play. There we go. So, it's loading up. This is the AFC Championship game from that year. Why the fuck would you give me that? It's useless. Patriots. Oh, because I typed in Broncos instead of Seahawks. That's my fault. My bad. I'm sorry, computer. Sorry for cutting you off being dummy when I was a dumbass. My bad. All right. All right. So, fourth quarter, all plays, into the second, into the fourth. Okay, so interception. So, second and goal. Second and goal. If I remember correctly, the Seahawks have 2 timeouts. Second and goal on the New England 1. They pass the ball. They're running a pick route where I think it might have been Doug Baldwin. I can't remember who the receiver was at the time. Was going to basically run a slant underneath. He's on the outside where he's going to run underneath the inside receiver and pick off the cornerback of the outside receiver and get that space. He was going to catch the ball and fall into the end zone. The problem is the slot cornerback read it and jumped on the ball and picked it off, which was a once a lifetime type of play that I think it was Malcolm Butler made, right? And people ever since then have Seahawks fans have always talked about this thing of it's a huge conspiracy that the Pete Carroll or whoever was a play caller wanted Russell Wilson to get the moment so he can win Super Bowl MVP instead of just giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch. The thing is about that is there's 26 seconds left on the clock. It's second down. If you run the ball and you are stopped for no gain or for a loss, then you have to burn your second timeout and you're left with 2 downs and 1 timeout. That's why you throw there. It's to stop the clock and keep the downs because you're on the 1 yard line and it's only a certain number of plays you can get, or you want basically you want to give yourself the time to be able to get 3 shots at getting into the end zone to win the game. It's simple math. Like if these niggas were playing Madden, this is exactly what the fuck they would do. But they think,
I don't know, bro. How did you get that shit to Marshawn to get 1 yard?
No, but the thing is, right? They think it's a guarantee that he would have got in as opposed to somebody gets blown up and it's like one of the what fucking Patriots Colts game was it where Richard Seymour stopped Marshawn or stopped Edgerrin James on the 1 yard line to win the game at the last second. Like no one thinks you're ever going to get stopped, but you do get stopped. Sometimes that's why you throw the ball in that situation so you don't burn that timeout so you can have 3 shots at it. Like they were playing for the lotto tickets by making the pass by going with the pass there, because like if you do run there, like you're also like guaranteeing that like the next 2 plays are probably or one of the or you're led at some point you're going to tip off to your teammate. Actually, no, if you run on second down right there in that situation, you know that the next play is definitely going to be a pass because you can't afford to go in the let the clock run down on you or go into your last play. Like it was a mess. Like, it was perfectly fine strategy. It's just like they just can't accept it, and this is how they cope. Is like it had to be conspiracy. There was a mistake that they decided with a guy that was one of the best quarterbacks of the last decade of pro football that proved to be until now because he's washed up. That like you can't, no way they would have just trusted him because we don't like the dude. That's all it came down to was they didn't like the dude. They thought he was too Hollywood, and it's always been the case. And like they still are like shook up that they lost a fucking Super Bowl. Like, bro, like you're not guaranteed to be a dynasty. You made it. You made it to 2 Super Bowls. It is what it is.
Boy.
And I never liked them niggas anyway. So like, whatever. Like, assholes. All of them. Like, I think Earl Thomas like the only one that was cool. And Earl Thomas had that situation happen with him. So whatever. I like Marshawn, but I'm talking about when I'm talking about them as being assholes, I'm talking about their defense. Yeah.
Man.
Just annoying.
Boy, and then you got Kendrick Perkins working on TV now, and I saw something with, I guess there's some sit down that's like with Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, and of course they've done a million reunions. And
Rich, real quick, you talking about the new media stuff, right? They got Sherman out here like slandering the fact that like your boy is washed up now, and it's like, why are you on TV? Didn't I just see you like beat up your dad on camera or your stepdad on camera? Or it's like your father-in-law on camera. Why does he have a job to be on screen
not
doing
addressing this?
I guess not.
What part of the new media is that?
Yeah, it showed up drunk to his.
Is Draymond's podcast still going? Like,
Draymond's?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably on hiatus. Like, bro, that shit gonna be like he need to put that shit behind a paywall this year. Niggas will pay for it.
There is no way. I guarantee. Look. I don't know how many people said it to him, but I know it's more than one that said,
"You gotta shut it down.
Do not make a fucking podcast about this. Do not. Don't do it.
Shut it down.
You cannot talk this. No. At least it seems that he actually listened to him.
Man.
Speaking of podcasts.
Dance.
Speaking of podcasts. Drink Champs.
Fuck. I feel like we kind of like warned everyone last week on the show.
We did. I don't know how.
And it's gotten worse.
He's made it worse. It's made his bipolar or wants to bipolar.
Bro, Candace Owens and her husband have ran the play of a lifetime on this dummy. If they get him to buy this shit from them and cash out, look, a finesse job that I think Jeff Jarrett would respect. She's been setting this play up for this shit.
Kanye,
ultimate grifter.
It's crazy, dude. Like, this dude so badly wants to be
a lightning rod or a center of controversy.
Well, besides that, like he so badly wants to.
Is he like Jim Rice?
You gotta explain to me what you mean by that.
Remember, I think you told me about this actually. It was like somebody that thinks like Jim Rice wanted to be white. Actually,
oh yeah, I remember that. It's not necessarily he wants to be white, but he is brought in under the allure of powerful white men. And he wants what they have. So when you go back, so now Watch the Throne was at one point it sounded a lot like, look at us, the super successful black people that are some of the rich people, powerful people in entertainment,
bro.
But we still get
a whole different meaning.
That's what I'm getting at.
Oh, okay.
But we are still we can't reach the upper crust because we're black, and we are still treated to racism, and this is fucked up. And even to let y'all know, even with all the nice things that we have and all that kind of stuff, we are still treated like niggas. And then now that more time has passed after first listen to it 2010, listen to 2015, now listen to 2022, it is nah, that's not what their complaints really. Those were some of their complaints, but their complaints were no, They just wanted more power to swing their dicks in everybody, including the white people that are super rich. And like, they're using this as their way of coping the fact that they just can't get past it, even if it's true. And like, so looking back at this Parler thing is like, okay, he wants to own Parler. Why? Because Elon Musk is about to buy Twitter. That's the only fucking reason. The only fucking reason. Or it's because, like, you know, Bezos has Amazon,
and he's getting like kicked off of everything.
Well, I think that's a part of it too. Yeah, yes. But like, it's also like, all right, well, I'll just own this thing, and then I can, like, when I hang out with Elon Musk or I'm around others, you know, some of the top 1% of rich people in the world in these spaces, like, I will command respect because I'm like, the next thing you'll say is he wants to go to space. That's gonna be the next fucking thing. Just like these assholes do. And like, that's like, that's what he wants. And like, by him, and so like, all this stuff is like, because then, like, I don't know if you saw on Twitter today, like, I think Elon Musk posted a thing of like him like alluding to the Kanye Parler thing, is like he did like the Dragon Ball Z Fusion thing, and it was like, yeah, and it's like, there is no way in fuck that if you're buying Twitter you want Parler. What's the point?
Right.
Because the second that, like, once, like, Elon, like, the reason why Elon Musk wanted to buy Twitter was to open up the free speech stuff to make it for people to say all that shit. Once people are allowed to say whatever the fuck they want without being booted off or whatever else, like, all the people are leaving Parler and going straight to Twitter. So it wouldn't even matter to even have Parler. So like, he just play clean to this fucking guy's ego because he knows that, like, Kanye idolizes him. And like, you look at it like what Kanye has idolized between the fashion stuff, with this tech stuff, with Trump, is like, everybody he idolized are white, or like these white dudes that are weird. And that's been the case since like 2016. But now it's like, even like, I think for even people that were still like holding out hope that this was all some like plot and some type of gimmick, and he's not actually like this. Like, no. He's actually like this.
Yeah, like, this is not some collapse, or this isn't a tough time that he's going through. This isn't a I don't know.
He wants this. He's doing what he wants to do.
Try to cover this shit up with like this thing he needs help for. Like, this is none of that. This is like the choice that he made. This is who he wants to be.
Yep.
I don't know how many times he has to display that for people to try to like talk themselves into you guys know the phrase, like, when someone shows you who they are, believe them, because like,
I think it's Maya Angelou quote.
Yeah, and it's like, all he's doing is showing you who he wants to be. Why are you going against him? Like, he's trying to tell you what what he is. He's like, but no, he has to have a smarter plan, and he's giving out game. You
know what that is. You know what that is. He made the Dropout.
Worshipism.
And people can't believe that a motherfucker that made the Dropout has turned out like this. And it's like, this is the reason why, like, I stopped. I just jumped off into other things. I was like, bro, this is like, nope. I don't care if it's a gimmick. Like, even if it, like, people thought it was going to be some gimmick, like, similar to the other stuff, and all the stunts he's done, like, before launches of projects, is like, I don't care. This is beyond the time for that now at this point. Like, this shit is dangerous. And I had that, I ended up going on in a thread with some of me and Rich and like my childhood friends and stuff. I went on a 10-minute audio message like a fucking lunatic, like having to explain like to my crazy cousin as a Kanye stan, like, this shit has gotten worse. This shit's not getting better, and like, this is gonna end up really bad. And then the George Floyd shit happened like a couple days later, and then that's when it broke him to an extent. It was like, nah, man.
That shit is like awful, bro. Like, that shit is like, being like, it's like, the funny thing, like the free thinking, right? Like, by very definition, we know Kanye doesn't read, so it's impossible for him to be a free thinker. Like, when you think about it, that would, if I was to think about what a free thinker would be, right? Let me entertain the goofy, foolish thought of that, right? That would be you read one perspective, you read another perspective, and then you
Mm-hmm.
came up with this alternate perspective that's like not tied to either one of those. If
Yeah.
your free thinking just aligns with like this set, like 100% of like all these things, like, oh, you're just listening to like some people that told you this shit.
Right.
So like,
Like you. Yeah.
it's a like stop the cap, like, yeah,
Yeah.
like, yeah, man, it's
And
Nori,
I think this ultimately ends up.
where,
He's going to be another Herschel Walker.
oh my god,
Like Trump is going to like put him in like the try for like a Senate seat in Illinois, some shit like that.
disgusting.
Because he's going to put him up, he's going to promote him for that or whatever else, and like whatever Trump says, GOP will back at this point. So like 2024 or whatever else. Like it depends on if Kanye still is under the illusion that like he's actually going to run for presidency.
There's
And
no
actually
way in fuck
anything.
that Kanye would actually want to work as a senator, though. Like,
He wouldn't want to work. He wouldn't want to really want to work as a president. That's the thing when it comes to Trump. When
well,
Trump
I
finally
feel
won,
like you can.
you
If
find
you're,
all the
if you're a
stuff that Trump had to
president,
go through, and he's like, I don't really want to do this.
yeah, I feel like if you're, I feel like you actually have to do work if you're a senator. Like, and you actually have to like sit in on Chapel Hill and shit. And
It depends on it depends on what committees you're actually in. Like not everybody is like Jeremy Raskin or Chuck Schumer or like something or I'm trying to think of someone that was more in the organization for the GOP. Someone like a Rand Paul or Marco Rubio. Like not everybody's like that. Some people are just like they won their Senate seat. They just show up to do their yays and nays when it's in session or whatever else, and they get the fuck out of there. Like, because for example, like they're not going to put Herschel Walker if he actually knocks off Warnock. They're not going to put him in no fucking committees.
Sick. Yeah. Please, Georgia, do y'all jobs. Do y'all fucking jabs.
I think Warnock has it in the bag after this shit because he's too terrible. But like this Brian Kemp thing, bro. Like, what a sweet gig. Like, he'll be governor forever. He'll be governor forever.
At this rate.
Yeah. Anyone listen to this?
Man, still got double-digit viewers in here, man. People fought with the post show. I might have to publish the post show.
Oh wow. Ultimate grifter at the end of the day, yeah.
Bro. Like I can't believe that they set this man up to run this play like this. Like,
do you think they were specifically targeting him the whole time, or do you think this was like he like this is something he was looking into, or something that he was lining up with the Candace Owens thing, and then like eventually like he got suckered into it, like it almost like a what do you call it, like a timeshare, where like they were bringing everybody around the timeshare, and then they finally found the mark. It wasn't like they were setting up for be him the whole time.
Right. It wasn't like they were aiming for Kanye West. They were like they basically opened their door with that bullshit, and then he came wandering in, and then they tapped each other like, we got one. We cannot let him go.
That seems most likely, yeah.
Like, and then they ran that grift for years at this point. This shit's about to pay off. God, why can't I run a grift like this? Why can I? Like,
I'm not going to say
I fully endorse taking Republicans' money. Like, I fully endorse it. Like, I remember I heard about that scam that one girl ran on Twitter. And was like, my parents kicked me out the house for saying I supported Trump, and she put out a picture with the hat on, and then it was a GoFundMe, and she got like $130,000, and then she said, "Nah, I finessed y'all ass." Like, I fully endorse that shit.
So. Do you remember? What was I going to say? What were you talking about before we got to the grifter thing you were talking about?
Was Candace Owens?
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. So you're talking about Candace Owens things, right? So and you talk about how you would have done a grift or whatever else. Or how come you haven't came upon grifting nobody else, bro? One of our close personal friends. I'm not gonna say their name. I don't know if you heard the story or not. This years ago, dude. Like, he was fresh out of college. That should give you the tip on who it is. And he had said to me, like, if he wasn't afraid of going to hell, he would just start his own religion. That's exactly what he said.
I feel like I know exactly who this is.
Well, I tipped you off, but like
Yeah.
he was like, if I want to go to hell for it, like I just start a religion and it's cake. That's exactly what he said. Or not exactly, that's basically what he said. He's like, yeah, I just rack up. And I was like, and I didn't bother to ask him to like follow through with the follow through the application of that.
Yeah.
As far as like you talking about like an actual, are you talking about like a like an actual like a cult, or are you talking about like a religion? I didn't even get into that. I was just like, oh, there is money in it.
Yeah.
But like he said,
Lots.
if I was afraid to go to hell, he would. It's like, bro, that's at least some type of form of karmic justice, and let that man and say, I'm not going to do that. Whatever. Everybody has their own ways, but I was like, yo, that's crazy. And like, I didn't necessarily like, I wasn't disgusted or dismayed, but it was kind of like, I never thought he would say this kind of thing to me. It's kind of what I took it as. Oh,
shit.
man.
Yeah, man. So I hope everybody here that's still listening, y'all know that y'all are actually in a cult. With One Nation Radio, this is what y'all think this pyramid is. That's on this logo. Y'all boys have been indoctrinated already.
Shit, if you can pull a Joel Osteen, why not?
God damn it.
Joel Osteen don't even handle it the right way. Like when what was that? What was that? Hurricane Harvey?
Yes.
Is that Harvey? What the fuck are you doing?
When does the Kanye mega church start? Like I know that with Sunday,
Rich. That's
Sunday
another
service,
grift that's another grift I thought he was up on. Right? I
bro,
thought it was
the
happen.
other grift that he's got is the fucking school.
I thought it was going to play on each other, right? So this is what I thought, right? The school, the Donna school, he has all that land in Wyoming. Sounds like he's starting a cult. That seems right for.
Look, he got
eventually it's going to become a cult.
He got him wearing the funny ass clothes.
Yeah, he just hasn't done it yet. But like he has all the things that place to start a cult if he wanted to. He already did.
Amazing. He's educating them. He's that's a lot, man.
Yep, I did see that. Yeah. Good morning, Donda. Good morning, Don. They got a kid sign, and all the parents have to sign
NDAs.
What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, this is like a dude that should be like educating kids.
No,
he told y'all he don't read.
Like what is the curriculum at Donda? I know they don't have books. Like I don't get it.
Like it is so crazy. Like
sick
how this all ended up this way, man.
Sick, absolutely sick. And just everybody just letting it ride. Like is
$15K to send their kids. I didn't know that. I didn't know about that part.
Yeah, I heard about that. $15,000 tuition, and it's not accredited at all.
I knew that part.
Yeah,
which of course it wasn't.
And it's like a scam. Like they're playing like games on ESPN and shit, like the sports or whatever. So, like I imagine, how the billionaire shit goes, right? If there are kids that are being funneled to Donda, how does this work with like the shoe companies and the universities and all this shit in the TV deals, the exposures with ESPN? All this shit's like tied in together. It's one big work.
Wait, so it's a high school? It's not. I thought it was like it's a multiple.
I think it's a multiple level.
So check this out, right? So the other day when I was talking to the thread with that same thread,
and sports agents too tied in with that shit and the NIL shit. Like all that shit is like with Donda.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that they also had that availability. I just thought that he was starting like, for lack of a better word, like a goofy ass charter school. But all right, so so I had said to you in like the thread with my childhood friends, like, hey, one the LeBron Kanye thing, the barbershop thing that LeBron does, like
Oh
they
yeah.
brought Kanye on and then they pulled it because it was like anti-Semitic stuff he said, and then like you heard shit on Drink Champs, but um, I had said to y'all like, hey, like I don't know if y'all really have really peeped this, but like it's been a while since LeBron has been caught anywhere around Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
And, especially early in his career, like you would see him, cover magazines, like Double XL cover, the Carter administration thing, or, you would see even affiliation where he gets shout out selling records, right? And like in the last decade, that is like completely like ceased. And then like when they brought Drake out for his episode with the barbershop thing where he could go out there and he could like try to quit them deadbeat dad charges by throwing Kanye in the bus for breaking secrecies, all this stuff, or whatever else. That was clearly one sided, and like even while it being one sided, I don't think much of us would really believe much what Drake had to say anyway because it was that compelling. So like it seemed like LeBron clearly has like not officially said it, but by his actions has distanced himself from Kanye. So when I heard that he was going to be on the thing, I was kind of surprised. And then you think about he started at school, right? What was he saying at the beginning of the divorce with Kim Kardashian about like he don't want his kids going to godless Sierra Canyon?
Yeah, and teaching them that.
What is the only reason why anybody outside of Southern California knows what the name of that, or out of the state of California knows the name of that state because of LeBron's kids going, because of Bronny going there, right?
And like all the other like famous kids,
right? But we didn't know those famous kids all went to the same high school. We didn't know that was like Beverly Hills High School or some shit like that, right? So like. I don't know if you know anything about Sierra Canyon, but Sierra Canyon is like, how people used to talk about like those prep schools that like used to get in kids with these scholarships that had no chance of actually getting in, and it would be like this under table stuff. Like Sierra Canyon is like, oh, like we think you're going to the NBA? Come here, bring your sister. How do we pay for it? The dude that is the producer
that sound like that show All American.
That to do and how do we pay for it? Oh, our donor base. Like that kid right there, that kid's dad is the producer for Sony Studios. Like he'll cut a check. We don't care. Like we're past that point of like
we're past it.
He's stupid. Like they're basically like Sierra Kane is basically like doing the whole thing of like. Yeah, instead of us trying to hide how people finagle shit, it's like it's almost like how NIL basically exposes shit. It's like we're past that. Like bring them bring them in. Like we're like these disadvantaged kids. These kids still gonna come to the school. Let's do it. Like that's like Brian Williams was talking about this on the True Hoop podcast, or sorry, whatever it is, Hoop Collective podcast a couple weeks ago, and I was like. I'm glad that we're now past that point of like, having to pretend and come up with an excuse for how all this, shit was happening or whatever. It's like, now it's like, it's out in the open. It's like, it's flat out just quid pro quo. Like, we want this kid to come here and we want to be a factory for these kind of athletes or for these kind of musicians or whatever else, like, or these kind of people that are talented youths or whatever else. And like, they'll just be able to network at a young age with like kids that are going to be, flushed with cash because of nepotism. So who gives a shit? Like let's just do it.
Factory boy. God
yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, like
he probably wants to start his own version.
So when Kanye talks about that, going back and think about it, he talks about like the Godless Sierra Canyon thing is like, oh, okay, you want to run your own school. That's ultimately what this all was. You wanted to run your own school, and you wanted to use your kids as a marketing ploy to
drum up sympathy,
to drum up interest is like, oh my god, Kanye and Kim's kid comes here, like, yeah, I'll sign an NDA and give you $15K. You fucking idiots, because a bunch of fucking idiots are out there.
Marks.
Yeah.
I feel like every one of these Kanye schemes, if you think about it for more than 5 minutes, you can figure out what the real reason it's happening is. Every one of these schemes.
It's bad, man. It's really bad. And like, I, I don't know, man. Like, do we even know why he was mad at like Gap and Adidas earlier this year or a couple months ago? Like he aired both of them out.
Yeah, I
I don't even know what it was about. I don't remember.
Yeah, didn't pay attention that close.
Yeah, yeah. I'm saying I try to stay away from this stuff because like shit like upsets me that like this fucking guy turned out like this.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we should wrap it up. Appreciate y'all like sticking around. And, I don't think we went too off the deep end, so maybe I'll save this this post show portion or something. I don't know, but
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess.
Whatever.
Whatever.
But yeah, I'll holla at y'all.
All right, later.
Peace.